Hey everybody, this is Julie Quinn, and I wanted to create a super quick video just to show those of you that are working in the databases and finding articles to help with your annotated bibliography, what an APA reference looks like and all of the different pieces of the puzzle. Okay, so you had an assignment 1 that wanted you to find a newspaper article, then assignment 2 is starting to build toward the annotated bib. So annotated bibliography entries, and by the way, let me backtrack for a second. I'm only going to do this in APA style, just because 90% of you are doing APA. But if there's a student out there that's using MLA style, I'd be more than willing to create one of these as well, or to talk to you about it. So reach out if you have questions, and we can set up time for a phone conference. But imagine that I'm in the databases and I'm gathering research for my annotated bib for my upcoming, research paper. Say that the topic that I want to talk about, since I'm in education, is the arming of teachers in K-12 classrooms. Okay, so one of the biggest benefits of the library databases is the content's peer reviewed. That means experts in the field have evaluated the articles for timeliness, for quality, for thorough research, and all of that, and they're only publishing the best. That's what scholarly journals means. So when you're for this assignment, I think at least 2, maybe even 3 of those articles have to be scholarly journals. So I'm going to search for arming teachers, and I went ahead and tagged full text, so I get more than just the abstract and scholarly journals, so I get those peer-reviewed articles, experts evaluating other experts. Okay. So when you find articles, you see that the ones that say PDF or HTML, you get the entire article here. So if I want to read it to make sure that this is something that is appropriate for me to be using as research in my essay, maybe I've read that PDF and I've determined, yes, this is something that I absolutely want to include. Note over here on the right hand side are some really cool options. It will download the PDF to your Google Drive. It can save it to a folder, print, email it. But there's this option that I think a lot of students don't see, and it says Cite. And this is going to save you guys a ton of time, not just in this class, but in upcoming classes. So if you click on the Cite option, you get a formatter. It's a citation formatter in all of these different styles. And there's plenty of styles like the American Medical Association or Chicago, but you'll see in here that APA is listed as one of the styles. So what I tend to do is I will copy the APA style. Now I'm going to go into a Word document. Think about this as you're preparing your annotated bib, for example, and I'm going to paste it in. But no, when you paste it in, some of the formatting's a little bit off, and I want to show you how to fix it. The formatter gives you everything in the right order, but it's got a weird highlight and some of the capitalization's a tiny bit off. So instead of just pasting it, if you right click when you're in Word, you can paste with the merge formatting option and you get the italic and you don't get the weird highlighting. All you have to do now is you can expand your paragraph. You can choose a hanging indent because that's how we set up references. And we can choose double spaced because these are also double spaced. And then the final thing you want to do is go to Times New Roman 12. So we are 90% there, and it's taken less than a minute. So we get rid of the one that we're not going to use. And we've got this wonderful reference. But I want to point out some features of this. First of all, in APA style, if you're really aiming for 100% accuracy, the first thing you want to do with your reference entry is put the title in what's called sentence casing. So the title of the article, I know it's weird, but it does this thing called sentence casing. And in the sentences, the first word is always capitalized. That's this one. The first word after any colon, if you have a colon, is capitalized. And then proper nouns. So we just go through and we quickly adjust the capitalization. Now, I'm not going to count against it if, in a 112 class if you do have it capitalized, but this is perfect APA style. The weird thing you're going to notice with this is that you don't see a document indicator like that DOI, and you don't actually need it. This is perfectly fine. You can submit this without worry because what this is indicating is that it's a recent article that was published in an academic journal. I see the journal title here. Don't forget journal titles. We have an article title, but then we need the journal title. It came out in volume 39, issue 1, and then there's that page range for this article. It's showing this is the print version of the reference. It came out as a print document. You also found it electronically. The databases may not plug that in for you. The databases aren't like it's not a live person building your reference. It's just like a software program. But this is perfectly 100% acceptable. So even though assignment 1 said, hey, we want that DOI and we want the website that you got it from. Now that we're moving into annotated bib and into writing of the regular essay, if the formatter in the databases does not include a URL, don't worry about it as long as I have volume and issue and page numbers. So I wanted to show you that this is how names are done. Last with first initials, ampersand, last with first initials. And then you've got your copyright year. And then you have your title of your article. And the only real thing that we did here was we just down-capped it into sentence casing. We've got the title of the journal, and we have volume, issue, and page numbers, which is perfectly acceptable. Again, so if you have questions about this, you want to throw a couple in an email to me and tell me, does it look okay? By all means, will I be able to help you? And once you gather a couple more articles, let me go back into my search for a second here. Let's go to this one from the high school journal. Let's say this is also an article that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to grab the citation. I'm going to find my APA. And you notice that there's a document indicator on this one. So they don't all have to have it. I think it's just as the system sets it up. And you'll notice that I'm actually putting this in front of my other entry. And I actually want to right click and do that merge formatting because I don't want the highlights. So I'm just going to, you'll notice the Minshew M comes before W. So you'll organize these alphabetical based on author's last name. And from the editorial board would be something like this. And then we are in great shape. This one included a DOI. This one didn't. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So I hope this helps you with understanding how you format an annotated bib. And then you would, of course, have, you know, the paragraph of writing and then the next entry and then the paragraph of writing. So I'm here for support. If you want to reach out, please do. And I look forward to seeing your articles soon.